The medieval village that I made last video is looking awesome, but I think that it needs a little addition in the way of a monarchy. And what better place to give them than their own private island? So we have this island just here, and I would like to put a lovely little castle on top of this. And that little hole in the middle, I would really like that to be like a docking area for like smaller boats. I think that'd be quite cool. But I want to take a different approach to building this time. You see, normally I would come into this world and shape out what I'd like to do and experiment with colours and decoration and those sorts of things. But this time I'd like to do something a little bit more advanced, if you get what I mean. Yeah, so I figured I'd use some AI this time, and I put this prompt into this AI image generator, and I got these 6 images. And the plan is to basically combine all these ideas and create like a cool little castle manor type building with like a dock on this island. But before we do any of that, we have to actually get this island into a usable state. So I'm gonna do that. Well, I've run out of dirt, so now I've got to go get some more from a mountain somewhere, probably. So hopefully now with that mountain completely flattened, there's enough dirt here, including the stuff in my inventory, to get this whole thing done. So, now with the island flattened out, we can start... Oh, hello horse. Anyway, now with the island flattened out, we can start moving on to the planning phase of this sort of project thing. And that's going to involve picking some colours and acquiring a block palette. So from the images that we've got, I think we can create a general idea of some nice colours to use. For example, from this one, I'm really liking the blue roof, and I think that would work well with some off-white walls maybe. And then as for the shaping, I think I'm going to follow these two because I like the way that they sit on the island, and I also like the way that there's like towers coming up out of the middle of the black and white one especially. So now we've got the colours figured out, I think we can start making a block palette. And then I think for the first thing that I want to do for this island is give it a bit of beautification, because at the moment it's looking a bit grassy, dirty, stony, and I want it to look a bit more lush. So we'll go get some resources and then we'll come back with a block palette and we will get some beautifying done. So I'm going to go grab some moss first so that I can get some mossy cobblestone, because I think they'll go as nice details in the cliff bits. And then we'll go grab some stone, because at the end of the day you can't have cliffs without some stone. Okay, so we'll start with a little outcropping on this corner of the island, and then we'll move to below the surface, because I think to make it look as realistic as possible, you definitely need to have moss below water, because, well, that's how it grows. We'll add a little beach. I think this looks nice now. We'll finish off with them cliff sides having a lot of stone and moss. And that's the first phase of the project completed. Okay, so we finished that, and I also got myself a little friend. Look at this guy, he's a little cutie. But yeah, I've placed down here, this is going to be the block palette for the manor type castle mansion thing that I want to build. And this is going to be the block palette for the main part of the building, going from diorite to a more sandy colour, and the sun's going down. Great. One sec. Alright, so now we can actually see again. Let's return to the block palette. So yeah, basically, this block palette in front of me is going to be for the main part, whereas this block palette just here is going to be for these little tower spire type things that I'm going to build. They're going to be the main section, and then for the roof, I'm going to be doing some warped wood. And I think the blue is going to come in very nice with the whites and the cream colours, and I think it will turn out well. But before we can get to building, I think I want to lay a foundation for the actual builds and just the area in general, and then we can build some pathways and make it look extra nice, and then yeah, I will do that. Okay, so we've built the foundation and the paths, and I even added some extra details because I thought it would look absolutely awesome with all the pathways. We got some bushes hanging around here, so just a few dotted around, just because I thought it'd add a nice little feature, and I think I can really start to see people living on this island. I think a dock is definitely going to fit really nicely in this little, I don't know what it is. I think it's just like a little crevice in the island. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I think these buildings are going to fit really nicely on there. You can see that I've started to lay out sort of where the building is actually going to fit in. And then I think it's going to look awesome with a few extra buildings on these mud bits and just a few details dotted around. I think it's going to look awesome. So now what's left to do is we've got to go gather the resources that I mentioned in the block palette, and then we can get on with some building. Okay, we'll craft up some bone blocks first and tick that off the list. Then move on to some diorite farming. This took quite a while, but managed to get it done. Alright, that's done. Gotta repair my tools. Then I'll grab some gravel for the concrete powder. Okay, got a box of that. And then moving on to the sand part of the concrete powder. This is such a satisfying sound. And finished on that as well. Moving on to sandstone. This was almost as satisfying as the sand. It's just a shame that I kept having to stop because the sand was always falling down in my face. Okay, hopefully finished up on that now. That should be enough. And we'll put some of it into the furnaces to let it smelt into smooth sandstone, because we'll be needing a lot of that, especially because it's being used on both the spires and the main part of the building. We'll let that cook up and we are sorted. Now unfortunately my mic stopped working in the video, so this little scene that I'm playing out here is basically me just saying I'm gonna get a bunch of birchwood. So yeah, that's what I did. And then the final step was getting some calcite. This was by far the most annoying thing to get. Although the geodes have a reasonable amount around them, actually getting to the calcite and mining it like in a quick, efficient way is just so impossible to do. It's so annoying. Even though it's quick to mine, it's so difficult to get to because it's wrapped around all these amethysts and basalt blocks. Oh, it's just so irritating. Do not build with calcite if you want to build something quick and easy. Just don't. Alright, so now we have all the resources for the building, we can get to making it. I haven't collected the roof materials yet, but we will do that afterwards. I just want to get the main frame down and then, well, we'll see what happens from there. Awesome, so that's the main part done. I just want to add a second feature and then we can get on with the roof. And that feature is going to be a central tower. Bit like what I saw in the AI images. I think it's going to look good like this. Just need to put a roof on now. And I am going to get to doing that right away. Let's go. So whilst I'm building the roof, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm actually converting this island in the first place. And the reason is, if you've not seen my other videos, is because I want to try and make everything that I build have a purpose and a reason to be in the world. And I think because of its sort of grand persona, I think it makes sense to have it as like a house for a prince or princess, hence Royal Oasis. So now that that's done, we just need to do the spires, and done. I've got to say, it's starting to look pretty damn good. I'm not sure about this log. I put this little beam in to sort of separate the roof section from the actual main building, but I don't know if I like it. Maybe it'll change, maybe I'll keep it. I think I'm going to add some details and then I can decide if it's actually something I want to keep. But yeah, that's the next plan, is to add a few details, maybe put some windows in, and then we'll see what happens from there. I want to put a little beam going under this roof to sort of support it a little bit, and yeah, I think it'll look good. So let's get to doing that. I mean, this is just so cool. I'm honestly, like, so happy with this. I mean, come on, this is wicked. This is so good. Look at that, that's awesome. The only thing that it is lacking is an interior. So, let me give you the tour. Okay, so upon arrival, we have this rather large staircase leading to the second floor. It's just a foyer really. And then on the left here, we have the sitting room with some really nice details. A stupidly large fish tank. I mean, that's what you have if you're quite rich. I would. So I've put it in my world, alongside some bookshelves and a nice seating area. And then moving on to the second floor in the lounge, we have this nice large table that I imagine maybe gambling would take place, or some conference meetings maybe, with some nice decorations of candles, some paintings, and just the overall aesthetic is really nice. And then in the second room on the downstairs floor, we have a kitchen and a dining room. Some really nice details as well, some really large lovely windows letting lots of light in. And this is where I imagine lots of eating would take place. Lots of grand meals and lots of talk of, I don't know, politics. Okay, moving on to the second floor now, we have this lovely little, well, it's just another foyer. It's more of a landing rather than a foyer, but we have this landing with some nice paintings, some windows to look into the city or the village across the river, and you can access the top of the lounge from here. And then you can also access this room called a solaires or solars. I don't know. I looked it up on the interwebs, and it's where the posh people come to have chats and stuff like that. But we got some nice decoration here. It's obviously been someone's birthday by the looks of this cake. I thought that was a really nice decoration. We got some jewels here to signify some wealth, and overall I think it looks pretty damn good. And then moving up to the third floor, this is just another landing, but with a bit more decoration. We're moving up into the circular cylindrical spire now. We have the bedrooms on this floor, and in the bedrooms, it's just a bed, some nice decorations. Obviously, you can clearly tell that they like to read by all the bookshelves, the lovely sofa, couch, whatever you want to call it, and it's just a similar thing on the opposite side. Basically a copy and paste on both rooms, both bedrooms, and you can obviously walk out to the balcony if you'd like to have a beautiful view of the city. Okay, now moving up to the third floor, which I am going to call the Grand Library, because I get the feeling that they love to read, they love to write, and if you're rich, then you can do that, because, well, you have the time and the money to do those types of things, in my mind anyway. Maybe you don't, maybe you have a lot of other things to do, but in my mind, you can definitely do that. Okay, now moving up to the final and fourth floor, we have, well, I'm not sure what this room is going to be called, but it's got a lovely chandelier, it's got the nice windows alongside some lovely detailed railings here with the lecterns, and overall it's just a really, really lovely cozy feel. And I like it. I don't think many people will be visiting this floor because, well, you have to climb a ladder to get up here, but maybe someone would spend their time up here if they need some alone isolation time. I don't know. But yeah, and that will conclude the tour. So I think it's looking pretty good, and the next steps are probably to get on with the dock, and then we will sort the rest of the buildings out. But before we get to that next part, I just wanted to say a massive thank you, because we're nearly 20 minutes into the video and you're still watching. And you don't have to, but you chose to, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. These videos do take me a reasonable amount of time to make, so I do appreciate you watching. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, especially because of last video. You guys were awesome on that. Lots of comments and lots of likes, so thank you. Alright, back to the video now. Alright, so what I'm thinking for this private dock is I basically want to keep in theme with the other dock in the village, so I need to go grab some spruce and get on with it. And now that the dock's done, I think it needs a boat. Okay, so starting with the base before I got interrupted. You are not helping me, good sir. You are seriously not helping. Can you, like, yeah, swim over there. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Alright, back to building, and starting with the front of the ship, and then moving on to the back of the ship. Fixing the sides. Putting in the sail, finishing off, going with a royal blue, because I thought that was quite regal. Putting some banisters on with the lecterns, like I did with the other boat, and I think it turned out pretty well. I think it goes really well with the manor. Okay, great, that boat is looking awesome now. So I think the next steps that I want to take are to get on with these buildings, and you can see I've started planning some out, and I think it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. We'll put some on these little dirt patches. I think I'm going to put like a little fire pit on the one just above my head, and a garden just above my head there. So hopefully they'll look pretty cool and tie in really nicely with this manor, and yeah, we'll see what happens after I've done that. And there we go, all finished. I think it looks pretty cool. I did give it an interior. I think it looks pretty good in here. I mean, it's, you know, pretty basic, but I think it gives the general feel. And yeah, I think it could be used as like maybe a maid's house, or like maybe a guard's house or something like that. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, next up is just that little patch behind me where we're going to put another small house. Alright, starting with the frame, getting some walls in, putting the door on, getting the floor down, and then moving on to the roof, framing it out, filling in the walls and the sides. It's starting to look like a pretty cozy little cottage. Alright, awesome. This area is really starting to come to life now with all the houses and the buildings and everything that's going on. It really looks like people, you know, belong here and actually use this area for a lot of stuff. It's really good. I'm liking it. So, sort of the next things that I want to do is, well, you can already see that I've started to sort of expand this garden area. I want to make this into like a really nice cozy garden place, maybe with a tree coming out somewhere here, and then like a cool little fire pit just here, and hopefully it'll look good. And then along this path we're going to have a bridge going over to this section, and then next video we are tackling this absolutely ginormous mountain. I want to make something really cool. I think it's going to look awesome. But yeah, so we'll get on with that, and then I will come back once it's done. This is pretty damn cozy. Look at this, look how lovely it is. I think this is looking so cool. I think this tree is pretty good. It's not the best in the world. It's definitely not the best that I've done. That's over there. Although from this angle it doesn't actually look that great. So maybe it is the best. But yeah, this garden is looking awesome. And so the only thing that we have left to do is build a bridge to the mainland so that people can actually get access to this island. So let's go do that. Hell yeah. This really is the final piece of the puzzle. It looks so good, man. It looks so good. Like every part of this I'm just super proud of. The way these walls link up with these fences is just so good. Oh, it's so good, man. I love it so much. Alright, that will conclude the end of the episode, and I just want to say a massive thank you for watching. Again, you know, you don't have to, but you chose to watch this far, and I appreciate you. Whoever you are, wherever you are, thank you. And I also wanted to say thank you because upon completing this video, we are over 100 subscribers. And although that may not be a lot to many people, it's a lot to me. So every one of you that has subscribed, thank you. Seriously, it means the world to me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to making some more videos and looking forward to some upcoming projects. This mountain is going to be one heck of a project. So look forward to that, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, that will be it, and I will see you next time. Bye!